Okay, so if you made it here, it's because you want to know what confidence is and how to get to confidence, right? So I made the little, what's it called? The Instagram reel. You know, I'm about to make those little snippets separate from these. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here, you're in the right spot. So I made a YouTube video on confidence before, but I didn't like it. I never posted it because I just didn't get to editing it because I was just like I was doing a lot. But then I also thought like, you know what? I'm doing the most for this video. I'm just gonna keep these simple from now on, just because of my time schedule and stuff. So here we are. I know I'm not gonna ask people what they think confidence is because honestly, a lot of these people are clowns. They give me some clown ass answers, which is funny. You know, it's cool. But I want to keep this like a little bit more focused now. We're changing directions. So here we are. Confidence. You gotta ask yourself, what is confidence? What do you see other people that are confident have, right? Why are they confident? So let's dig in. Let's dig into this, right? A lot of the times, our behavior is dictated by others, right? And I can make a video on ego and stuff like that, which is kind of related to this. But a lot of the times, the way we feel about ourselves is because of what we think other people think of us, right? So if we're thinking, oh, I wish, or if you're thinking, let's say, for example, in a social aspect, oh, I'm socially awkward, it's because you think that other people think that you're probably weird. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not. That's just what you think of yourself. But if that's what you think of yourself, that's how people are going to perceive you. You just got to think about it. However you think about yourself is how people are going to perceive you. Whatever you tell your mind is what your mind is going to believe, and that's what's going to be projected out to the world. And that's what the people out in the world are going to see about you. So when you want to build confidence, if you want to be a confident person, you really got to think about brainwashing yourself. And I made the metaphor of the tabletop. You got to think, hey, I want to be this, I am this. So now what you got to do is just get your reference points. You got to start going out there and getting yourself in social environments, and then just get points and fail and this and that. You're going to fail so many times. You're going to be cringy. You're going to make the wrong jokes at the wrong times. You're going to say the wrong things at the wrong time. But then over time, you're going to know what not to do. You're going to start doing things that are better suited for situations that you wouldn't have thought of before. But the only reason you got to that spot in your social experience is because you failed 10,000 times before. For me, it's soccer. For me, for the longest growing up, I was super unconfident in soccer. Why? There's so many reasons why. Well, no, there's not that many reasons. One of the main reasons is I was never in a soccer team growing up. So a lot of times when I looked at other kids playing, I would say, dang, they look good. They're part of our soccer team. So in my head, you're part of a soccer team, you're good. That's the association I made in my head. If you play in a soccer team, you are good. I did not play in a soccer team, so therefore I was not good. Even though I had coaches that liked the way I played, I just technically wasn't there. I was always in my head. And even if I was technically there, I was just always in my head. So what I had to do, right, and this is also, leading up to present day, I had to start exposing myself to situations where I'm playing against good players that I think are good. And that also meant I had to stop playing with just friends for fun. Because sometimes just playing with friends for fun is fun, but you're not actually gaining too much experience as if when you're playing with players that you think are better than you, right? Because now I'm getting reference points of me playing in a good environment. In my head, it's a good environment. And now when I go out to play other places, I'm like, oh, I'm a good player because I can hang with these people. I should be able to hang with these people in soccer, right? As opposed to you're just always playing just for fun. You don't have reference points of you being a good soccer player because there is no organization there. There is no pressure to be good as there is in these other environments where there's players that are also taking things seriously, just like you want to take things seriously. If you want to go to the gym, sometimes starting off is really hard because you don't know what you're doing. So it helps a lot when you're training with someone else. And when they're training you and they're teaching you things, this and that, and now you know how to do these things. And not only that, but they're reinforcing you. They're a good trainer. They're reinforcing you that they say, oh, you did really good today. Now you have a reference point in your head of like, oh, I was doing good. I'm doing good, you gain confidence of going back to the gym because you're doing things the proper way. Instead of going by yourself and not knowing what you're doing, and in your head you're just like, oh, I'm so lost. People probably think I'm like a weirdo, or like I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe they do think that you don't know what you're doing, but they don't really care, right? A lot of times you can go ask them and they'll help you. It's really sometimes just in your head. That confidence thing is in your head. And so if it's in your head, you got to stop telling yourself that you're bad at something. Don't ever say that you're bad at X, Y, or Z. Say, I haven't learned it yet. That's going to go a long way. And it's not easy. You can't just do it like one day to the next. Well, you probably can if you can get it down. I'm not going to say you can't. But sometimes you're going to be discouraged because you don't get it the first time. You're going to say, dang, I'm so bad. I'm so ass. And then you're going to say, I'm telling you right now, say, oh, I haven't learned it yet. But then you go out and try it and you're just like, damn, I'm so ass, right? Like it's just habits. You have to break habits. That's the thing that I'm trying to point at right now, is that just make a habit of saying, hey, I haven't learned this yet, as opposed to saying, I'm just ass at this. If you make that habit, it's going to translate into everything in your life. Once I made the habit of telling myself, I'm going to stop saying, oh, I'm so ass, when every time I mess up in soccer, I tell myself, you know what? I'm just going to say, come on, Gio, you can do better. Or I just won't say nothing at all. Or just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I fucked up. But now I'm like, it's in the past. And what I do is this mental exercise, which I'm going to walk you guys through. And then I just move on. And then I tell myself, okay, you know what? I might have messed up in these parts. But then I tell myself, okay, you messed up. You can count in your hand how many times you messed up in a game. I messed up here, here, and here. All right, 3. But then I'm going to go back and I'm like, well, how many times did I not mess up? Okay, so there's 90 minutes in a game. If I'm being realistic, I only messed up for like a minute of it. The other 89, I did pretty good. Why am I beating myself up over that 1 minute? So I'm practicing in the same way you should too, is making reference points of all the good things you actually did. Because what's going to happen, even if you had a bad game for an average day for you or whatever, right? Like whatever is a bad day for you in soccer or whatever you're doing, even though you did have a good or a bad day, thinking about and focusing on those bad things are just going to make you less confident the next time around. As opposed to when you just focus on the good things, the next time around you're going to be coming in more confident and say, okay, there's these places where I can improve, but these are my strengths, and I'm going to play with these strengths and work on my needs improvement skills, right? The skills that need improvement, okay? And this is a mental exercise that I want you guys to do. As I've said before in the setback video, change the vocabulary. Don't ever say, oh, that's a setback. Say it's a blessing. You learn something. You learn what not to do to not get to that situation again. Okay? And this time we're gonna reword every vocabulary of negative self-talk to positive self-talk. You're gonna say, I'm ass to I'm learning. Simple as that. Fuck, I fucked up to hey. I say, hey, come on, Gio. Let's go. Come on. Pick yourself up. It's in the past. Leave it. Right? If you focus too much in the past, you can't focus now. Or I just tell myself, focus. What's going on right now? Focus on what's going on right now. And I also do this thing where I'm disrupting my patterns, right? If I ever catch myself doing this negative self-talk or overthinking in a game or anywhere at all, this can apply anywhere at all in your life. Disrupt your pattern. I do this weird thing where I'm walking in and I'm skipping and I go, blah, right? Notice how when I say bye, I say blah. Instagram thinks I'm saying blessed, but I'm not saying blessed, I'm saying blah. It's just some weird shit that disrupts your neural association, which is a fancy way of saying it. It's breaking a habit. You're just breaking a habit of negative self-talk. The second thing, or the third thing I want you to do is this mental exercise where you're gonna think of any insecurity when you're thinking of a moment in which you messed up, or that you're thinking of something of like of a moment. Think of a moment in which you felt embarrassed about something that you wanted to do, and then because of that reason you're not doing it anymore, or you're just doing it but you're discouraged, unconfident. Take that moment and just think about it in goofy ways. Think about it in black and white. Think about it in color. Compare that to the original way of the way you think about that moment, which is probably embarrassment. It's probably like as a failure. It's probably anger, sadness, depression. And you can use this in any aspect of your life too, right? But then you start changing it. You start thinking of it as, let's say, for example, as a cartoon. So I'm thinking of the time when I was 12 years old and another 12-year-old kid said, "Hey, you're fucking ass at soccer." So I think about it as a cartoon, right? Imagine you're watching South Park, and you just see one character tell the other character, "Hey, you're ass," in that goofy voice. That's funny now. So in my head, that doesn't affect me as much as it did before because I lightened up the mood. It's not intense and it's not discouraging anymore. It's more of, that's just goofy. Next thing I did is I play around with that image in my head. I see it as if it were a TV in front of me, and I just play around. I'm moving it around. I can crumple it up, toss it in the trash, and that's what I do. And then I come back, I revert it to the original memory that I have of it, and I just start thinking about the way it makes me feel. And now that I can't think of it the same way anymore, I disrupted that pattern of me feeling bad every time I think of that image. Because now if I think of that image, I also think of the cartoon version of it. So I don't feel intense feelings of failure or intense feelings of embarrassment or just like the way that kid made me feel that day. I think of it as, that's goofy. I'd be like, if I saw a 12-year-old kid tell another 12-year-old kid right now, "Your ass," just randomly, I'd be cracking up. And it was like right, because I'm like he would feel bad that he called him ass, but he would also feel bad that I'm laughing about it. But it'd be funny. If I'm being quite honest, it would be funny. Let's just be honest. So those are mental exercises that you can work on, so that you can work on reinforcing the reference points that will help you stabilize that tabletop, which is your belief system now, and that's going to lead to better confidence. And we got to reinforce that all the time, and the only way you can reinforce it is with consistency. See, we're tracking back to the last video. Everything's interconnected. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. It's been 13 minutes. I'm not going to make this any longer because I made this video last week and I was yapping for 30 minutes, guys. And then I was going through the whole video and I was like, dude, I'm a fucking yapper. Get me to talk about something I really like to talk about, I'm going to yap for days. I cannot shut up. So I see the clock right now. It's about to hit 14 minutes. So I'm done. I hope you guys found something valuable in this. We out. Yeah, bleh.